Hi, my name's Lindy Cowling and welcome to my channel. My website is www.lindycowling.co.uk and my email is info@lindycowling.co.uk. And the title of the video today is Attunement to and Actualization of a Higher Timeline. Attunement to and actualization of a higher timeline. So what do I mean by higher timeline? I mean a timeline that is a higher vibration, a more positive outcome, your optimal outcome at this very moment in time. So we've spoken about timelines and the perception of time before, and we've spoken many times about creativity before, but we haven't actually narrowed it down to a specific example of how one can actually attune to and actualize one's own highest potential or one's own highest timeline. Now, in the previous video, the attunement video that I brought out, the last video I brought out, there are examples of how to change certain aspects of emotion that are holding you back, recognize them, recognize the crunch points, recognize the originating points, and then from that crunch point create in essence the reality or the changes to the reality you would like. And there's an exercise on there, an attunement on how to give your mind and your body, and the combination of the two, the vibration, the word. If you want to expand on that, you can even bring a color in with the word, the color, the positive emotion that your body and mind require in order to create, not just in order to heal what's gone before and the previous patterns and beliefs and what's happened before to you, but actually to create from that point. So there are examples on there, so there are like foundations of that on there. But in this video, I'm going to fine tune another element to this as well, which kind of goes hand in hand with the previous video, where you can attune to, sort of hone it down to focusing on your highest outcome in your highest optimal timeline at this point in time. So let me give you this attunement as an example. So the best way I feel to do this is to actually ask you to get yourself into a position where you are able to focus and safely relax for however long it takes. It may be 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. I'm not quite sure yet till we get going. So this would be relaxing in a chair, an armchair, laying down on your sofa, laying down on your bed, somewhere that you can safely lay down and listen to this, perhaps with headphones on or something, or earphones on, just so that you won't be disturbed. Now, when I give you this exercise and this attunement, these attunements and exercises work most powerfully with repetition. Short elements of time factored into your busy lives as repetition. And when I say short factors of time, I don't practice anything like this for more than 5 to 10 minutes per day, and that's it. 5 to 10 minutes per day. But what you are doing there, not only are you creating a new neural pathway in your mind, but you are installing something as a routine, almost as part of your ritual, part of your habit. And as we know, these can become very powerful. And what you're literally doing is you are rewiring, in some cases, a negative response, but in other cases, you are forming a new neural pathway in order to create in a way that perhaps you didn't know you could create. So they are designed not just as a one-off. I mean, in the last video I say this, if you can spend 5 to 10 minutes every day, you know, before you get out of bed in the morning, or build it into your routine in the morning before you, just like you go out, you know, you brush your teeth or have a wash or a shower before you go out or go on with your day's business. If you can build it into your routine day in, day out, week in, week out, it becomes, in every sense of the word, part of your psyche. It actualizes, it forms, it creates. Because as we know from energy, energy is instant. But to experience consciousness in human form, energy to a certain degree slows down through the human vessel, because we are, by our very nature, and planet Earth by its very nature, is a heavier density, or let's say it has been a heavier density for a while. For a while, because we know in the times of Lemuria and Atlantis, which are not just legends but are actually reality, that of course we had evolved to a certain state where energy was very light and very fast within our vehicles, our human vehicles as well. But on our return to those states of consciousness now, and even beyond those states of consciousness, as part of that experience, in the early stages, the energy, spiritual energy, multidimensional energy experienced through the human filter, through the human emotions, through the human body, through the human energy field, is heavier and slower and denser than it is in the other dimensions, the other planes, when our consciousness is experiencing in non-bodily form. So where I'm going to start with this is saying that because of that slowness of energy in the physical up to now, I mean, we know things are speeding up and intensifying, and have been actually over a number of years, but incredibly so now. Is because of that, the physical and our physical bodies and our physical perception of realities are and have always been the last, have always been for us, our generations, you know, us here, an awareness of the now, have always been the physical aspect, the last to show. So it's always the proof, if you like, in the physical reality has always been the last thing to show up. And of course, because we're experiencing consciousness as humans, we find this really, really winds us up. I mean, this really, really winds us up, because most of us are not patient, and we prefer to see the proof first, the physical first, before the rest of it. And of course, it's all the other way around. So there are very much aspects of, well, believing is seeing. Not seeing is believing. It's the other way around. Believing is seeing. There are aspects of that. So there is that leap of faith and that knowing, really, when one is blindfold, of the steps in front of one. So it's the physical that comes last, the physical reality changing last, the energetic component hand in hand with the emotional ingredient that facilitates this. So this is why there needs to be the repetition every single day for 5 to 10 minutes, because unless you are at a high rate of your own personal evolution, where you are already aware that you can more or less create on tap, which means like this. You can create, you bring the awareness into your energy field, you focus with positive emotion on what you absolutely not believe anymore, but know is there for you, and it forms within days. And I'm not saying that can't happen, because it absolutely can. But there are few and far between at this second in time, at this moment in time, that are master creators. There are many on different levels on it and stepping stones towards it, but there are few of us that are in that at that level of mastery where we can create like that. But it's coming. It's coming. And that's why it's going to be, and it is now, you know, very, very kind of important that you pay attention to where the emotional compartment, emotional component of you is going in terms of your attention to what's happening in your lives now. And like I said in the previous video, it's very difficult for people when there is a lot of trauma in their life, or they see a lot of trauma around them in the world, to not have an emotional connection or attachment to that. And what you need to do is, in some ways, step back from that, not bury your head in the sand, but step back from that and know that to change your reality is to change the global reality and the global timeline. So this is why it's the most loving and non-selfish thing you can do, is to actually actualize your own greatest version, your own highest version, your own highest vibratory perception, your own highest vibratory frequency and timeline, because it is like ants in an ant nest. It contributes to the whole, it contributes to the overall timeline. So if you just get yourselves ready, this will probably only be about 10 or 15 minutes. It's interesting, I'm really being drawn to do attunements, not just for myself, and I'm actually doing these for myself every day, but to share that at the moment. That's the way it seems to have gone at the moment for me. I want to be sharing in this way and demonstrating in this way. That's what I'm being drawn to do. So just make yourselves comfortable, and we'll go on to this bit of it now. Very, very simple, very, very easy, and designed for you to do this 5 to 10 minutes every day. If you really want this to move things in your energy field, if you really want to get the airplane to take off from the runway, not just like be banking a little bit and just take up a bit and go down again, if you really want this to fly, it's something that you need to be disciplined in incorporating into your life every day. Look, I'm going to be quite blunt here again. I'm quite known to be, in a loving way, quite blunt. You know, to get anything like this to anchor into the physical, because of the nature of what we are as human beings, to get it to actualize, to get it to anchor, to get it to form in reality by deliberate intent, we have to relearn, like children in the classroom again, how to use this innate ability that we all have. And so it has to be, we have to practice it so that it becomes a habit, so it becomes a new neural pathway. And I'm going to be quite blunt. What is the worst case scenario here? Whatever your situation is whatever's going on around you, however wonderful it is, or however crap it is, or wherever it is on that trajectory, somewhere in between. The worst case scenario here, the very worst case scenario, is you feel much, much better, much positive. You're more positive. Your immune system is being boosted. You're coping with things far easier than you were before you did this attunement. That's the worst case scenario. The best case scenario here, your optimal scenario, is that you start creating what you do want, and there are changes inside you first in consciousness, and then changes around you in the outside, then changes in your physical body and your physical reality. It's the nature of working with energy. The physical comes last, so do not expect it to happen overnight, but equally when it gets going, it's very, very quick. The energy of creation is very quick. When you're on the ball, when that plane is taken off, it's very, very quick. So attunement coming up. Make yourself comfortable. First, we're going to start with the breathing. So some of this, when I'm doing these attunements, I am drawn, and I do have to close my eyes because, well, literally to fine tune me up a bit, to help me come less out of the density of experiencing through human form, and just bridge that little bit again before I bring it down into human form, which is why I'm doing this. So you may want to shut your eyes too, or you can just look at me throughout, whatever. We'll start with the breathing. So we're going to start with a deep breath in. And out. And these are unusually deep breaths, I'm being drawn to say. So deep breath in again. Deep breath out. Good. And we're just going to take literally minutes here just to enter this bubble of peace, this bubble of calm, this bubble of focused creation. Let's start just by listening to and tuning in to the sound and the vibration of my voice. Let the relaxation, let this peaceful sound, let your deep breathing gently wisp like a mist, like an essence, through your mind, down through your throat, down into your wonderful heart, your expanded heart, down into your solar plexus. It's like a mist, like an essence, down into your pelvis, down into your legs, down into your knees, down into your lower legs, into your ankles, feet and toes. Let this mist, let this essence move through every single organ, every single part of your cellular structure. Let it merge, let it move, let it gently swim in the fluids of your body. Let it enter your ears. Let it just gently wisp through your nostrils, down through your throat. Always, always, wherever it is swirling, it comes back to your heart. And this mist expands. It expands out into your aura. It expands out into your energy field. Swirling, merging. It is singing. It is giving the sound, the beautiful sound, the singing sound, the vibratory note of your soul, of your spirit, of your highest possible frequency. And as I say this, just as I am experiencing it, as I am saying it to you, I am literally experiencing it at the same time as I channel this in a way through me, from me, but through me, through my higher self, through my oversoul, through my guidance system, through my guides. I am feeling goosebumps and my hair is kind of going like this. And I have that always as a sign that what I'm saying is in alignment with truth and the soul and that higher perspective. And as it all swirls around you, this is your mist, this is your essence, this is your energy. It's a reminder, the fine-tunement of your highest vibratory rate. Through your organs, through your fluids, through your skin, through your cellular structure, through your DNA, through all the chakras you're aware of and all those you've yet to discover. Always coming back to your heart. So your heart is the filtration system through which it all returns to the ever-expanding heart. And as you listen to the vibration, as you listen to my voice, as you experience what you're experiencing, and some of you will be experiencing a lovely feeling, others will feel extraordinarily calm, others will suddenly feel empowered, others will feel tingles, goosebumps, a sudden warmth, a sudden cold. You might see colours. For every single person, it's different. But as we sit in this attunement energy now, whatever point you are at in your life at this moment, this is your starting point to create. Whether you are living a life of your dreams and you want more and more dreams and more expansion, whether you are living your own version of hell and you are wanting to find a way to change that and create your way out of that, or whether you are somewhere in between, that is your starting point. And to bring your highest possible reality, your highest experience, relief to the experience you'll have, stepping into your optimal frequency and optimal outcome. Bring about the feeling. This is the key to everything. The feeling, the good, happy, childlike, joyful feeling as your starting point. And if, just as I said in the last video, if your life circumstances at the moment, if your life up to now hasn't given you much reason to be joyful, if there is not one memory you can remember or tap into from your childhood or from any aspect of your life where you just felt full of happiness, if it was such a long time ago that you're having to wrestle and search for it, then you can use the power of your incredible mind to create such a memory. And I can promise you that the mind, your energy field, and your soul respond no differently in this attunement to you creating a memory, a fabricated positive memory, one that you would have liked. It will respond no different to that than if there's a real one. If you can get this memory childlike, with that childlike excitement, childlike, seeing the kids through a kid's eye, through a children's eyes, a beach on a summer's day, seeing the sea for the first time, having a picnic for the first time, seeing the forest, the woods for the first time, believing in Santa Claus, believing in magics, going to the theatre for the first time, seeing animals for the first time, getting your first pet dog or first pet cat, falling in love for the first time, feeling a wonderful, excited crush on somebody for the first time. But keep it simple. Do not complicate it. Do not elicit an emotion that has any negative connotations to it at all. What we don't want in there is falling in love for the first time, but then you lost them, or they died, or you were a kid, but that was your last moment of memory before your mum and dad divorced. Do not complicate it. We want this really simple. And if you find it hard to get it simple, invent it. Invent almost like a childlike, is that childlike innocence, a childlike memory that you want to start the emotion from. And when you have it strong enough that you could smile, that you could sit there smiling because you can feel it, not just analytically think it. Thinking it is just not going to cut it. Thinking it is not going to launch that plane. It's going to keep you going along the runway. It is not going to get you to fly. You've got to feel this, baby. When you can feel it, and I mean, I can feel it. That's why I'm sitting here smiling. I can feel it. When you can feel it, the emotion, the childlike excitement, like something really good is happening, or I'm seeing something really good and I feel all buzzy and excited. When you hit that, try and drop it from the brain into your heart, and it will be in the brain and the heart at the same time. They work in tandem, that's fine. But stick with the feeling. If you're like, oh, I'm finding that a bit complicated, dropping it from the brain to the heart, don't worry. Stick with what's simplest. Don't overcomplicate it. Stick with the feeling, whatever keeps the feeling going, whatever keeps the momentum of the feeling going. Then start chucking the cosmic ingredients into your cosmic cake. And the ingredients are, the main ingredient, the happy, wonderful, childlike, buzzy feeling. That's the elixir. That's the creation elixir. Next ingredient, what you want in that particular cake. What do you want in that particular pie? Is it a partner, a lover, a wife, a husband, a business partner? Is it new career opportunities? Is it so much financial security and abundance that it is kind of unlimited, that you can not only pay and buy for your own house or rent your own house, but you have multiple options there, multiple properties. You never even have to think about money again. We're human beings. Most of us have some of these things I'm suggesting, or all of them. For you, it might be just one of those ingredients. For someone else, it might be every single ingredient. They might be wanting to draw to them all of it. The partner, the life changes, traveling, business opportunities, career opportunities. They might be wanting to bring children into the world, their own children, or adopting children. There are many variations on a theme. So you might be someone that has one or two ingredients, or the whole the whole lot. Throw the ingredients in and don't get complicated about it. Just feel the feelings, the excited feeling that we've still got swirling here, the childlike feeling, the like, ooh, that feeling. Stick with the feeling and start chucking the ingredients in. Don't complicate it. Do not let your head interfere with, this cannot possibly happen. How am I going to meet someone because? How am I going to change that finance because? How am I going to do this because? Chuck that out, stop that, don't go down that route. Stick with the buzzy, childlike feeling. Stick with a feeling that makes you feel excited, happier, relieved. Stick with that feeling, because that's the feeling that is the elixir to the creative potential. Chuck your ingredients into your cake and just stick with the feeling. What it feels like. Let it swirl around. Let it mix around. Some days you might do this exercise. You might chuck another ingredient in. Another idea in. As you do this, as you stick with the feeling, the excited feeling, use the excited feeling, the happy feeling, the buzzy feeling, and apply it to every ingredient. So I'm going to go through it with you. So I'm going to use all the examples I just said if I can remember them all. So all these things are swimming about in your cosmic cake. All these things are swimming about in your cosmic pie. All these things are swimming about in your pot of creation. All these things are swimming about in your pot of potentiality. And all you've got to focus about, not worry about, not concentrate on, all you've got to focus on is the feeling. You know the ingredients you've chucked in. Now the feeling has to link to all of those ingredients. So all you do is focus on the feeling. Right, and I'm going to go through it with you. Ready? So I'm going to go through it now. And some of your ingredients will match what I'm going through as an example and some won't. So, wonderful cosmic partner in the ingredients. Lovely partner, sacred partner, all of the hearts, wonderful, complementary partner. It's as complicated as it gets, no more complicated. Don't put age on them, don't put height on them, don't put skin colour on them, don't put any of those things on them. Just keep with the buzzy feeling and the wonderful feeling. Total compatibility. Next one, easy as that. Career space. You can feel the buzzy feeling and you know that the career space you're either in now is going to expand so that you feel that feeling and the whole career space is going to expand, or you are in a career space, a different career space where that buzzy feeling is connected to it and it feels wonderful, which means you're in a career that makes you feel like you're growing, you're happy, it's everything that you ever dreamed of. Keep going back to the feeling. Bosh, done. Career space done. Next, let's go for finances. Stay with the buzzy feeling. Don't get analytical on your finances. Keep with the feeling. Keep with the feeling. Your finances are so, so wonderful that you feel even more excited and even more buzzy, and the buzzy, exciting feeling is linked to your finances. Money is pouring in. People are literally throwing money at you, giving money to you, awarding money to you. You are creating money. Money is coming to you because money is purely money and money is purely energy, and it's an exchange of energy. And you can feel the excitement of it. Never worrying about your bills again. Never having to worry about them again because all the bills are paid off. Never having to worry about your rent again because all your rent is paid up. Never having to worry about a mortgage again because your mortgage is paid up. End of. That's it. No more worries. Complicated as that, don't have to concentrate on that again. Do you see where I'm going? Every aspect I'm applying it to, I keep going back to the feeling, not the analytical complications of it. Critics of what I'm doing here will sit and say, well, you're just going into la-la land. You're just going cuckoo. You're just not dealing with the current reality and you're just pretending it's different. No, you're not pretending it's different. You're creating it different. I'm going to go back to what I said earlier. The worst case scenario is in a shit situation. You can feel far less shit, cope with it far better, and actually move through it different, more smoothly, get unstuck. Best case scenario, which you are absolutely on track to, as is everyone that applies this kind of concept, best case scenario is you create the reality you wish to create. If you're someone watching this and this is the first time you've heard such a concept, I would highly, highly recommend the work of Esther Hicks, who channels the energy known as Abraham. I've known of Esther's work for a number of years. Most people in the light worker industry and spiritual industry have. She is just outstanding. I mean, outstanding. And she's been on to this one on the energy of creation for a number of years and written a number of books. I mean, I've known of her for ages. And I'm at a point in my own evolution now where what she channels and what she's aligned with is very much where I've come into that kind of state of awareness and consciousness myself, not analytically any longer, but actually transitioned into it myself. So if you've never checked out any of her work, there are numerous things on YouTube. She's written numerous books all about creating and creating from a point of positive emotion. Now, I was teaching this in workshops and talks way back in 2011 about joyful childlike emotions because I knew it then, but it's become much more actualized now. So the feeling that's been swimming around in you, that excited feeling, that all your ingredients in the pot of potentiality, your cosmic pie, your cosmic cake, all swimming around in the mix there with your excited feelings are the starting point of actualizing your timeline, changing your reality, your life, your timeline, to not only include these ingredients, but to be feeling them and experiencing them from that higher perspective. Not just surviving, but thriving, actually creating that reality and realizing that you can create it and keep fine-tuning all the way through that reality. That it's unlimited. And as we come to the end of this attunement, this is something designed to be done 5 to 10 minutes every day. You'll get faster at it because I'm walking you through with baby steps. It takes me 5 to 10 minutes every day. What I will say is at the end of this exercise, as we're coming to the end of this attunement, just actually say out loud, I am actualizing, I am calling in, I am actualizing and aligning with my highest possible outcomes and attunements for this life I am living, for this timeline I am experiencing. I am actualizing, aligning with, drawing to me, coming into attunement with the highest possible outcome for the experience, for the life, for the timeline I am now living. And it really is as simple as that. Spirituality, the soul, coming home to who you truly are, and creation is the most simplest thing ever. Why we find it so darn complicated is all the stuff around it, our brains, our minds, our perceptions, our programming, all the stuff from other people around us that say what is and isn't possible. Everything else loaded on there. But in fact, we spend a lifetime on this path unlearning all that stuff, the complicated stuff, to come back to the simplicity. It really is as simple as that. You are learning, we are learning to be simple again. The more complicated and analytical we are, the harder we find it to be simple. The older we are, because we've had many more years on the earth planes to learn those bad habits, to be programmed that way, the harder we find it. We are walking back to simplicity. We are walking back into believing in Candyland. We are walking back to believing in Santa Claus. We are walking back to believing in the magic. We are walking back to the alchemical process that we all have within us. We are walking back to the realization that many people can point us and assist us and guide us and show us the way to who we truly are and to our own mastery. But we are that mastery. 99.9% of all people cannot find that or come to that realization without some guidance from outside, whether it's in the shape of people, whether it's in the shape of books, whether it's in the shape of life experience, whether it's a combination of many things. But that's what it's all about, coming back into your highest perception of reality and coming back to realize that you are actually creators. We are actually creators. Not here to survive, but thrive. So as you listen to the words and sound of my voice, you may have that emotion still swirling in you. It may have kind of dumbed down a bit as you've been listening to my words, but I can promise you it's still there. And with your daily practice, it will get stronger. As you come back into full awareness in your body, that emotion, if it still is in you, it may be sitting somewhere in your mind, or it may have settled in your heart, or it might be swirling all around you. That positive, wonderful elixir of your essence, of your emotion, has been activated. And in some of you, it will be more active than others. It might quieten down till you do this again in some of you. In others, it's going to still keep swirling around for a bit. But again, just take a deep breath, and I want you to breathe yourself back into your body, into your solid, anchored body. Bring it in, bring it in, bring it down, bring it into your body. And when you're ready, just open your eyes. And it is as powerful and as simple as that. This is something that you have to practice, not because it's hard work. It's actually fun to feel those lovely feel-good feelings and to play with them. This is really not work. This is playing. Let's play. This is like playtime. It's like playtime. It's not like, oh, I've got to strain to make myself do this. It's playtime. You are playing with happy, childlike, joyful emotions to change your reality. There is no worst case scenario here. You can feel less shittier in the shit that you're in and start creating from there, or you can actually absolutely transform your life, or you can be somewhere in that mix between. Some of you, it's going to be faster than others, but anyone listening to this has the capacity to definitely improve mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, all those ways. They all have that capacity to change where they're at this moment if they are not entirely comfortable where they're at this moment, or they feel like they want to expand further. So on that note, I am going to love you and leave you. You've probably noticed the last couple of videos, there's been definitely a change in the way that I'm working and in the tack that I'm working. I suspect that is going to increase. It's changing tack, and I'm changing tack here. But we'll see how it goes. But I'm applying that expanded consciousness and expanded concept to everything that I'm doing and everything that I'm talking about, because that's the stage at which I'm now at, and it's a stage at which people seem to be crying out for. You know, many people are at that stage where they want to go into the next part of their opening up and evolution. I do so hope you enjoyed that attunement. If you really are passionate about creation and creating, and you are new to the arena of the paranormal, you're new to the arena of holistic therapies, you're new to the arena of spirituality, or consciousness, and you are passionate about creation, there is just wonderful work out there, and really love the work and always have, but especially now as I've kind of stepped into that consciousness myself. I love the work of Esther Hicks. It was Esther and Jerry Hicks. Jerry transitioned, he's no longer on the earth plane. But Esther Hicks, she channels a collective consciousness energy of creation called Abraham. She makes the points in those channeling that we all have our version of Abraham and that consciousness within us, which is creation. She's just super fantastic, super funny, super lovely, and just really good, very human and very good at this. And she's been around for a number of years, number of books, number of videos. So if you want a change of face, i.e. my change of face, you know, to someone sharing about creation, and you're at that point where you're really itching to step into this as well, check out her work as well, you know, in all the forms it comes, because this is just going to speed you along your way. I will love you and leave you. I hope you enjoyed that attunement. Please stay with it. Enjoy playing. Build it in as your playtime every day for 5 or 10 minutes. Keep going with it. It does not mean it hasn't worked or it isn't working. If it does not materialize, these changes in the first week or two, keep going with it. If it takes weeks and weeks and weeks, or months and months and months, it will take that long. It will take as long as it takes to actualize by your mental process, your own personal personality, the amount of shit that your starting point is creating from, you know, because you already have plenty to prove you that life is very hard, so you're trying to create from a trench. Every single person listening to this is going to be at a different starting point, but we all have the capacity to reach the finishing line here, you know, so don't worry about that, but stick with it. I will love you and leave you. Thank you for watching. I so hope from my heart to yours that helped. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you to all the listeners to this YouTube channel, and to all those that come to me as clients. And thank you so much for supporting the work that I do. Love you and leave you. Bye. Bye.